Let's speak to Bryan Wang, the Vice President and Principal Analyst at Forrester Research. Bryan, many thanks indeed for joining us this morning. This AGM just finishing, lack of detail perhaps, lack of a shake-up. Are you disappointed?
I think actually, we are definitely shareholders are definitely disappointed about how slow Ring has been reacting to the market, and especially in terms of their future plans about actually lining up the new products against the new iPhone models probably to be launched in fall, as well as look at so many the models has been coming out from rivals like HTC.
It does seem that they're relying a lot on Asia, don't they?
Absolutely, and definitely, we have seen positive signals in Asia-Pacific market, particular for Ring, and they have been doing particularly well in Southeast Asian emerging markets. For example, if you look at Indonesia, if you look at Thailand, if you look at the Philippines, has been picking up for them as well. And one thing for a driver for this is because of a lot of the social network services users, consumers are using BlackBerry. They like the QWERTY keyboard when they want to update Facebook on a really regular basis, and however, on the other hand, they might be losing some of the corporate customers in Hong Kong and Singapore, which we have been seeing that in the past 12 months, that losing some of the financial customers, but that have been been making up by the consumer sector.
And Bryan, that's key, isn't it? Losing the corporate customer, because obviously the BlackBerry is really almost tied into the corporate user, and losing them to Apple again. What is the future for RIM based on that? Is that a trend, you think, of losing these corporate customers that will just grow and grow and grow and become more intense for them?
I think obviously, the launch of the playbook is one of the reaction that to losing some of the corporate customers. They want to make sure that the corporate customers can also rely on the new products, and they can have the entertainment services on the devices. So and to react to the iPads, to the iPhone integration, for example. And on the other hand, obviously, if you look at the U.S. market, if you look at the European market, the corporate customer sector is not growing. So therefore, the future of Ring to keep the share prices to make sure that they can steer back to the track for the goals is really from the consumer sector. So that's why they really have to make sure that they come up with the devices that will be accepted, widely accepted by the consumer sector. And but again, we also see that from the the Facebook perspective, for example, right? And HTC come out with the new devices like Cha-Cha, the mid to low end devices that are very much targeting to the the consumer sector. Have the habit of using QWERTY keyboard, and we believe that Ring has to definitely have to react to that. And currently they only have 9900, 9930 to be launched in September, but these devices are more expensive than the the rivals models.
And Bryan, when you cast your eye over the entire industry, look at Nokia behind the curve, losing market share to Apple, Samsung, HTC, etc., all these smartphones, and of course the apps are quite crucial as well. Where does RIM and the BlackBerry fit into all this again? Is it just tumbling down the scale, down the charts?
Yeah, I think the good part for Ring case is that they realize that they cannot rely on the corporate customers anymore, and they realized the challenge earlier. So therefore, that's why they have been buying the QNX, right? The company really good at the operating system on the touch screen. And they realized that. That's why they acquired the company last year, and they come up with the device playbook fairly quickly. If you look at really the engineering process, it's barely about 6 months. So they are reacting fast. But the future is really, it depends on whether they can come up with the new devices and more models of the new devices to react to the competitors, because they will no longer survive by launching probably 3 to 4 different models across 12 months time frame.
Bryan, quick question if I can. Nokia has new leadership, Stephen Elop. Do you think RIM requires new people at the front?
I think that Ring probably need people that knows consumer market better, because majority of the senior executives have been from the legacy Ring. And I'm not sure that whether they need a new CEO, but they obviously need senior executives who really understand the consumer market and who really knows how to do the marketing in the consumer sector.
Bryan Wang from Forrester Research, many thanks indeed for joining us.